and welcome to the bonus week, week 5 of February 2024 coffee and card, using the Be My Valentine stamp set. And this week I'm actually going to stamp on vellum. So these wings here are on vellum. So I'm going to use Stays On to stamp these because that stamps better on vellum than the normal Memento ink. I'll use the Memento ink for everything else. So you can use your Memento ink, but you will probably have to dry it with your heat tool or leave it to dry for a while before you do your punching. So because vellum is a non-porous surface. Okay, but for ease and speed I'm going to use the Stays On because it dries really quickly. Right, so if you are using Stays On, you do need to have a Stays On cleaner. I've had this one about 7 years and it's still pretty full. Excuse me, I've just got this rumbling cough that's been going on for ages. Right, so let's get everything out. Which I'm just thinking I've hidden it all, so it's all over here. Right, pop those out of the way. So there's your card. So you've got an envelope, loads of bits this week. Okay, so you have a possibly Granny Apple Green card base. Yep. And then your designer series paper, still from the Be Mine designer series paper. Piece of card to go on the inside, so loads of bits today. So this is Berry Burst with 3 decal rectangles. So we've got a Berry Burst one, a vellum one, and a basic white one. Pop those there for a moment. You've got some Berry Burst tinsel gems, and then black for your heart, 2 pieces for your bees, another piece for your yellow heart, and then your vellum for the wings. And I'm going to do this first because, as I say, although they're drying, it dries pretty quickly. I want to give it a good chance to dry. So I'm just going to get my Stays On ink. It does smell of almonds. It's really nice. If you like almonds. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to ink that up. Okay, it's a very sticky ink. And I'm just stamping that on my piece of vellum and then giving it a good chance to get across onto the vellum, and then I'm stamping again. If you can't see your vellum, put it on a coloured piece of card. There you go, so you can see it's a bit easy to see now, and I can pop my second heart, well, wings, on there, and I'm going to leave those to dry. I might have slightly overpressed on that. That's very thick. Oh, they just smell nice. Marzipan. Crafting with marzipan. What more could a woman wish for? Right, and so, as I say with the Stays On, you have to use a specialist cleaner, so I like to clean it straight away because I don't want it drying on there. So, and then you need to remove that. So I'm just using a damp cloth just to remove the ink. With photopolymer stamps you always get staining anyway from all sorts of inks, but if you get as much as you can off, there we go. And I'm just going to put that to one side to dry, and we're now going to make the bees. So earlier in the month somebody suggested stamping the black first and then the yellow because you get a softer image, so a softer black. So I thought I shall do that. Let's see what I think, because I've been doing it all the way through the other way. I also wonder if it might be easy to line up. The other reason I'm doing this too is because I'm actually using Lemon Lolly today rather than Daffodil Delight as my yellow, and it is a paler yellow, so it might be a bit harder to line up. Okay, so there we go. We have got one body. I need to do a second body. There we are. Giving it plenty of time to get across. Clean that off. And then I'm just going to pop the black away for a minute and do the yellows. Oh, I am going to do, because I have found if you do the Love You first and then do the yellow, that is a bit easier to line up. So the Love You is going on the heart. There we go. Right, so I'm going to put the black away for a minute and do some yellow, but I will be getting the black out again. Or this black, the Memento black out again. I'll just pop that there and get my lemon lolly out, which is a much brighter. It's a more subtle but cooler yellow. That's the word I'm looking for, cooler. Right, so I need the body first. Let's get that stamped. So, and I'm going to look through my light. Excuse me, I do still have this cough. There's one. Do you know, it might actually be slightly easier. Watch me mess this one up. And there's the other one. That's interesting. And then I think it might be slightly easier, but you see, this is why we don't do it, because the black ink has lifted up and gone onto my ink pad, so I'm going to have to fix that. So another reason why I should do the yellow first. See, I'm here to learn just as much as you lot. Right. And then I'm just positioning the Love You over that. So the way to avoid that is to clean your stamp in between. And I am just going to lift that black off my ink pad. And then after I finish today, I will grab my re-inker and re-ink the ink pad. So it's all rescuable. No harm done. Right. Okay, so I've had my bees this time. I've got one going one way and one going the other. So the one going this way is winking and the one going that way has got to the smiley face. So let's do smiley face first. So that's, it doesn't really matter which way around you do them. So smiley face. Winking face. So you could always do the side eye if you want. I just feel it's sort of like saying that you're being a bit sarky, that you don't really love them, you're just being sarcastic. The wink could be a little bit like that as well. Let's not read too much into these cards. They are just cards. Right, okay, and then we have some antenna there, and I'll punch all this out and then I'll do my heart. Let's pop that away again. So, obviously we don't need to do any wings because they're on the vellum. Okay, there we go. There we go. And then, do you know, I'm still not getting these stamped right, am I? I'm going to do them on the other corner. Right. Yeah. So I want them there. Right. So, black ink. I'm going to do them both on this and do both the hearts on the other piece. Right. I'm usually pretty good at working out which way you should use punches, but this one seems to have foxed me. Okay. 2. And then I'm going to do the hearts on here. So again, two. Right. Excuse me. And then we're just going to punch out our wings. So here's the first one. And then the second one. There we go. Right. Hearts, little bits we don't need. So we should have 2 hearts, 2 wings, 2 bees, 2 antennae. So we just need to make these up. Right, so I'm going to put the antennae on first. Oh, not punched out the love you. Come back to that in a second. Right, so antennae. This time I'm sort of doing it above the face. A bit further up. There we go. And then it's hard to decide. I think that's the side the ink's on. Which side the ink's on. And then putting on his wings. Just there. And then the heart on the front. I'm using wet glue on this bit of vellum because it's only a little bit. I tend to use double-sided tape or snail on vellum normally because it does have a tendency to buckle if you use a wet glue. Right, so that's one bee finished. Let's do the other one. Oop, wrong side. So just a little dab, far too much glue there. On here as well. Right, so just pop his antennae on there, and then his wings on here. There we go. And then just a couple of dots of glue on the back of that. Okay, and then we need to punch 2 hearts, so a black one out of your black piece, and then this one, and I'm going to use a post-it. So I'm trying to keep the costs of these kits down as much as possible, which is why I'm giving you sort of smaller pieces of card than perhaps I used to, but it does mean, you know, just grab a post-it so that you can have a bit of wiggle room with your punch. Okay. So let's get all our little bits of card out of the way. So the final bit of stamping I did was, if you look on the card here, I have stamped a honeycomb. Now I have tessellated this so it goes together. On this one I'm not going to. If you want to spend the time doing that, that's great. It took me forever to get it all lined up, so I'm just going to randomly stamp, sorry, the just checking my, we're all lined up. Yep. I'm just going to randomly stamp the honeycomb on this one, but they do fit together. As you can see, if you can see sort of where it's slightly thicker, that's where two pieces of the honeycomb have gone together. But this time I'm just going to be a bit more random with it. Well, I'm going to see if I can cope with being random. So, right. Okay, so just going to pop some bits of honeycomb around and just leaving gaps between them. I mean, you can see where they would have fitted in together if I'd put them closer, but I'm thinking more for speed. There we go. I think I'm just going to pop a little hexagon in the corner there. Okay. So that was far quicker than the other day, and I think it's still quite a good effect. If you, as I say, if you want to connect them all together, you can do. You just need to take a little bit of time doing that. So, and now I'm going to get my yellow pen. This is the light Daffodil Delight that I'm using here, and I'm just going to go in, just colour in a few of the honeycombs, just sort of randomly. That one there, just to give a bit of extra colour on the background. But I'm going to cover half of these up with the bees. Let's just see, shall we? So we're going to put that one there. So, yeah, that's fine. This one here is covering up most of those, isn't it? So, should we do this one as well? We'll do this one in the corner. It's just a little hint just to get some extra colour on. You might do that one too. Right, so let's put all this together. Putting the rest of the pieces. Don't hide my stones because I think I've lost them. Right, so this goes on the berry burst. Don't worry about the yellow coming through, that is just the alcohol pen that I used, the blender pen. So that just goes on there. And then I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back of here. I need to get out, here we go. So, where's the end? There it is. Because I don't want the vellum to buckle underneath. A lot of people avoid vellum because you do have to be careful with gluing it and things. As I say, it buckles also if your glue can show through. If you put it under a piece of vellum that actually shows. So you do have to be a bit careful with it, but as I say, all you have to do is be careful with it. So I've got a class tomorrow. I do, when I'm videoing this, I've got a class tomorrow. I do video these ahead of time. And we're actually doing 2 cards with vellum. So, you know, and they can be beautiful. My classes are in sale, for those of you who don't know, in Cheshire. or Greater Manchester officially, I think. And if you want more details, just let me know. I think I have more trouble with the blooming double-sided tape than I do with the vellum. Certain young man's been playing with my tweezers and they don't line up so well anymore. Certain young teenager who shall remain nameless, Sydney. Ah, there we go. Right. Okay, so as this is tape, there's no wiggle room, so you just need to line it up. And again, to make it easier to see, pop it on the back of your card. Okay, so you can just see the contrast there. And I just line it up so the top and side borders are equal. I haven't pressed it down, so I can still move it a little bit. Yeah, happy. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to attach it to the card, but I need to put the DSP on first. So I'm going to glue that on. It's a shame to cover that up, isn't it? I just think it'd be too much. And also, I mean, I know I say most of the colours go together, but I'm not sure that the Sweet Sorbet and the Berry Burst go together terribly well. Yeah, it's one of the few that probably don't. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that down. There we are. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to stick this down. Again, they stick very well. Now, what I'm actually doing here is I'm just increasing the amount of, and as you can see here, as I press that down, you can see the tape through the vellum. So obviously if that's the front of your card, you wouldn't want that. Okay, so that's firmly attached there, that's not going anywhere. So, and now because I'm putting the dimensionals behind the Berry Burst, so you can't see them, because if I put them over the edge of the Berry Burst, you would be able to see them, and we're not looking for that. So good for you, because it's a nice big, although it's 3 layers, it's still a big piece, so I don't want any saggy middles or anything. So I am putting 3, 5, 7, 8 dimensionals on the back of this. Okay, and I'm just going to, now I am going to dimensional the bees as well, so this will need a large letter stamp if you're posting it in the UK, because it's thicker than the 5mm. You can avoid this by just, again, using double-sided tape and sticking this flat. You can usually manage 1 lot of dimensionals, you just really can't manage 2. Right, so there we go. And now we're adding our bees and our hearts. So I'm going to stick the 2 hearts together. Oh, piece of vellum. So I'm just putting some glue sort of on this side of the heart. So it'll glue onto that side of the second one. There we go. And then I am adding a gem. And I did one of the smaller ones. Ooh, there we go. Just at the top in that sort of corner there. Okay. Dimensionals. Right. And I'm leaving the sort of this side of this piece hanging over, so I've only put dimensionals on that left hand side, and then I'm sticking it on, and then our bees. 3. So he's coming up from the top, the bottom rather. Okay, there we go. And then our other one, these little hexagons get everywhere. Right, this is our second one, so that's 1, 2, 3 dimensionals. Sticking to him. And I'm just going to put her there. Okay, and then I've got a couple. I've actually given you 4. I only used 3 on the card, but I did give you an extra one, so I'm going to put the big one sort of here. This time I've gone between the hexagons rather than in them because of the way I've stamped this time. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put it, where shall we put it? Put it there. Okay, there we go. Right, so that's card 5. Nearly finished. We just need to pop this inside. So it'll be a while before we have another, well, it'll be at least 4 years before we have another 5 Thursdays, February. So I hope you've enjoyed these. And we're playing with dies, stamps and masks next month in Enduring Beauty. So lots of techniques, I think, in next month's cards. So there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed this month of bees, and I shall see you next week. Bye.